Hello and welcome to Some Dude Shed. My name is Mr. Grey, and I'm joined by Mr. Red
Hello.
and Mr. Black.
Hello.
We are going to do the news, the most important stories of the week. I think we're going to start off with the story from Australia, in that a council is going to ban cats.
Well, it's about time.
Ban cats.
Ban cats from roaming around outside unsupervised.
Why?
Why? Well, they say basically it's to protect the local wildlife. So all the pretty little birds and things keep on getting pounced on by the cats, and they've petitioned the council, and now the cats aren't allowed outside.
Well, if they don't fly away, is there a problem? They can literally fly, and you still get eaten by a cat. That's just.
Oh, that's not fair.
That's natural selection.
A cat can climb a tree and find their eggs or something. Yeah.
Wow. I suppose.
So basically, the rule is going to be that if you want your cat outside, you're going to have to take it on a lead, like a dog.
Do cats do well on leads?
I can tell you, sometimes they do.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I've seen a cat in the lead one time. It looks stupid.
You kind of have to go where the cat wants to go, though. You can't say heel and get him to follow you.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
No,
it's not more of a follow me type thing. It's more I'm just gonna dance around type thing.
Yeah, they're independent animals. You know what they're like.
That's sort of reminiscent of like my made up Tamagotchi story. Remember the one with they give out Tamagotchi to stop people buying pets?
Oh yeah,
like they were wanting to get rid of pets. So
in the world's biggest open air prison, it doesn't surprise me they're gonna enact some ridiculous enforcement on.
Yeah, I mean, Australia was originally invented as a prison,
and it's still living up to that legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
So does that mean they're going to go around culling, because I mean, feral cats are all over the show? Are they going to go around culling feral cats? Well,
I don't know. I don't know what their plans are.
They already culled a bunch of dogs, didn't they? In the animal shelter.
From what I understand from this story, all their plans are basically fines for any cats that are owned.
The thing
out on their own.
The thing about the animal shelter was they didn't want the animals had already been selected by people to take home, but they didn't want the people coming and traveling breaking the lockdown to get the animals, so they shot the animals.
Oh, that's very sad.
Australia.
So I presume the cats that are wild, they'll just put a lead on them and tie them up to a tree or something. As long as there's a lead on them, it's fine.
To be honest, the southern colonies have got very strict recently. Australia and New Zealand.
They're dicks.
They seem to be enjoying it too.
Yes.
I suppose if you're just used to being in a prison all the time, it doesn't feel any different.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I enjoyed my time in Australia when I was there, but it's given me. I'd have second thoughts about going back, given everything that's going on there.
Yeah, well,
would you ever dress up as a kangaroo to try to escape?
well, the woman who's bringing it in says it's for two reasons. It's for stopping owned cats from killing wildlife, and to prevent them from being hit by cars, which is kind, I guess, but really I don't think she cares about that. I think it's more just wildlife.
Stop them being hit by cars. That's horse shit.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the end of that story.
I'm surprised they haven't banned cars, because whenever I was over in Australia, like kangaroos were like roadkill kangaroos were pretty much like roadkill over here. That was that common. Just seeing a dead kangaroo, just
like seeing a dead fox, I guess.
Well, yeah, or like a hedgehog or whatever. Just that's how common it was over there. But yeah, just Australia. You're nutters.
So, Mr. Red, what's your story?
Well, my story is a bit more lighthearted.
All right.
It's about a man. Well, actually, sorry, I'm not going to say man. I don't know. It was
just assume
this person got banned from Forza Horizon 5, which recently released. They got banned for 8,000 years.
That's a bit harsh.
They claimed they've been banned for 8,000 years. Livery designs.
Yeah, liveries. So basically, you can paint up a car however you like. You put all kinds of things. If you put a lot of time into it, you can come up with something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes, so they got banned for their livery design, and I'll put the design up on the screen, and hopefully YouTube doesn't.
Yeah, so our listener knows who we're talking about.
Yes, but basically it's just it's Kim Jong-un as the Colonel from KFC.
Right.
Instead, it also has the Nike logo. Also is on the design, but it doesn't say Nike. It looks like Nike. It just says Nuke.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's rather funny.
Does it say, like, it's just the KFC? So it says KFC on it, but it's just Kim Jong Un.
Think of a KFC sign, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Kim Jong. It's Kim Jong Un instead of the Colonel.
Kim fried chicken,
Kim fried chicken.
Korean fried chicken.
or that. Do they have fried chicken in North Korea?
If they can get hold of chicken, yeah.
Yes, so just imagine the KFC sign, and it's Kim Jong Un instead of the Colonel, and the Nike logo, and it doesn't say Nike, it says Nuke.
So what was the reason? Now, whenever you get banned, surely they would send you a message saying this is the term of service that you broke. Well, what are they saying that you got banned for?
They don't know.
Copyright.
They've appealed. They've appealed it, but they've yet to get an answer from Turn 10 Studios, who are the developers of the game.
It can't be copyright because I see all kinds of I've seen Burger King cars and Subway cars, just different paint jobs with clearly copyright logos used on them, but they're not. It's not like they're being resold for profit.
We're not. Just to let you know, we're not sponsored by Burger King, but a Burger King car would be pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty dope. Yeah, some dude shed, or even just like a full size statue of the king would be perfect to sit at the end of the table here in
a shed.
In the shed.
There's a bit of a debate on Reddit below the post. People are debating why such an extreme period of time was handed out for the ban.
Kim Jong Un is a moderator. That's why.
Some people
he's a moderator.
Some people think could be due to copyright. Some people think it might because you're making fun of nukes. Some people might be thinking it's an ism, and others think
I suppose
it's just not a funny meme.
I suppose because it's political. Like it's a political. You're probably not allowed anything.
Oh! Don't make fun of the dictator at all. Can't do that.
No, absolutely not.
No, I think it's just like a blanket thing. I imagine that would be like the most rational thing I could think of. Would be just a blanket. No political stuff on people's cars whatsoever. Because I'm pretty sure that I know some people.
I suppose the face of Kim Jong Un. Sorry, I suppose the face of Kim Jong Un would be considered a little bit political.
Other people in the thread who said they've been banned had pro-Trump liveries, Pornhub livery, anti-Biden imagery. So that's what other people have been banned for.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I would love the Slutmobile from the Tom Green show. You ever seen it?
Yeah, that was that big pink and kind of filthy looking.
Well, it was his parents' car that he took and spray painted without their permission. Just type in Slutmobile onto YouTube. Tom Green show Slutmobile. It's great. But yeah, well, I'm surprised they didn't put for the logo. Like you get the Nike, and then they're obviously called Nike, but they changed it to Nuke. But their slogan is also "Just Do It." It would not have been better to boot "Just Nuke It."
Just Nuke It.
Maybe. Oh,
not
Mr.
a marketing guy.
Mr. Black, what's your? What have you found?
My story's a bit sillier than your stories, so I apologize.
Wait, hold on. That's sillier than the guy got banned for 1,000 years.
Well, there's more to come.
I came across it just. Preacher claims alien reptile disguised as her husband tried to have sex with her.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Preacher claims alien reptile disguised as her husband tried to have sex with her.
Definitely wasn't just her husband.
Is this a news story or mentally ill person?
Both, I'd say.
Okay.
This happened last week on the 25th of November. A preacher from the United States has claimed that an alien, which turned out to be some sort of reptilian creature, invaded her bedroom on several occasions, disguised as her husband, and attempted to convince her to have sex with it. This was all on the Jim Baker show, which I've never heard of. I presume it's some sort of show in America, which Americans watch. I've never heard of it. But it's all. I think this one was on there to actually sell her book for $65. The Great Delusion Friends and Family DVD bundle for $65. So it's a bundle. So you are getting value. Let's see what she says.
So this news story is basically just to sell her book.
No, this is like one of her claims that, if you're trying to convince people to why you should buy their book, this is what she went with. Because, I've got a book I want you to buy.
So why should I buy it?
Because I encountered a talking lobster.
Is this lobster in your book?
Yeah, I talk about it in the book. And it's happened because it's in the book. And I got into a fight with it. And
hold on a minute. Is there not an art book that came out by a psychologist not that long ago that has lobsters on?
Yeah, he's a massive fan of lobsters. He has so many lobster stories.
Lobsters are pretty cool.
Not as good as mine. There was actually fight a lobster. So buy my book collection for $65. But she says, okay, after Derek and I get married, one night this other Derek appears in our bed. Maybe she was just like, maybe her husband accused her of cheating, and she says, "Oh, he looked like you," and then I took his face off, and it was actually an alien reptile, and it tried to bang me on multiple occasions.
Maybe it was one of those sleep paralysis things.
The real Derek was lying down next to me. The other Derek sits right up out of it. It startled me. I knew this was not Derek, so I asked the critter, "Who are you?" because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations. Like, this is an old lady as well. It's not like she's so. The alien reptile is clearly into older human.
Mm.
He said, "Come on, I'm your husband." I said, "Who are you?" And he had the nerve to claim to be Ahasuerus, Xerxes. So she said that the alien also claimed to be Xerxes.
Sure.
Well, he was really big and gold, so could have been the one.
Yeah.
It's not so much the story. It's just the fact this made the news.
Are you saying the 300 version isn't real?
Well, it's not 100% accurate, but it's close.
Really?
Was he an alien? Yeah. Was he an alien?
Who's Xerxes?
Did people think he was an alien?
No. Nobody thought he was an alien.
How do they know? Like, how do they know he wasn't?
Well, why would they think he was?
Because he was godlike character, wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure he moved to Colorado and opened a bar called LeBeau.
The what?
That's a completely different story.
She went on to say the creature visited her several times, and only once she managed to verbalize the name of Jesus. Only once, when she did vocalize the name of Jesus, did it go away. So it's a demonic alien reptile.
So this is somebody that's trying to sell a book.
Yeah, pretty much on the Jim Baker show. So
brilliant.
It was the best I could find, news story wise, because the other ones were just too depressing. I did come across that cat story.
It's too depressing.
Yeah, it's just Australia. Like, it's.
Well, if we can move away from Australia, there is another news story from the UK. In Berkshire, some drivers have been fined £70 after they were parking on their street overnight, and council came along and painted yellow lines under their car.
On it?
Under their car. So they parked normally and legally, and then when they came back in the morning,
I'm not even gonna.
They're on yellow lines.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty impressive to actually be able to paint the lines under the car.
I can't imagine they'd be very tidy, to be honest. The amount of stretching you'd have to do.
Well, have you ever seen videos of them painting lines where it's literally just like
it's like
a tube thing with just molten paint getting dropped down?
Yeah,
it's like mixed with something else so it adheres to the road better.
Yeah, so that's basically the story. I mean, there's more details. People saying, "Oh, the council's saying I'm sorry," and the local people being annoyed. But yeah, so be careful where you park, I guess.
So how did the lines get into the car? They moved the car?
Well, someone painted them.
Yeah, but did they just climb underneath the car and then paint the lines, or did
they must have.
That's amazing.
Quite impressive, I mean, they're not like big Land Rovers that are really high on the road.
Was it just one car?
A few hatchbacks. There's three of them.
Three. I wonder if the traffic warden was just following along as the highway maintenance was doing the lines, or like, ha ha ha, perfect.
I'm surprised they didn't just draw the lines over the cars. This'll do.
So I woke up at about 10:30 a.m. and my mom told me they were moving the cars and painted lines. They didn't make much noise. I couldn't hear them doing it. So they actually did lift each car. They must have done it with like a tow truck or something.
Without setting the alarms off?
Yeah, that was quite impressive.
That's like a stealth tow or something.
Yeah. I'd love to know how they did that. Maybe they're the aliens.
Yeah. Aliens painted
double
yellow lines under my car.
Well, they do say a lot of strange things about the British government. But yeah, so there you go. They can paint lines under your car, and they can fine it. Moving on, I thought it was quite a funny headline, to be honest.
But when you park there was no double yellow lines.
Yeah,
you can't retroactively put them underneath and fine someone because they're not aware that the double yellow lines are there.
Well, obviously the parking attendant who's was obviously his first day. He didn't know that. His first day on the area.
I reckon it was a veteran traffic warden, and he seen the highway maintenance men working their way along the street.
Licked his lips, rubbed his hands.
I was like, there's money to be made here.
Yeah, some of them do that. Like, I remember my work one time, there was a guy who basically had a scenario where he parked and he literally had like, he got back to his car by 30 seconds over, the limit, and the ticket was there for bang on when the ticket was ended. So obviously the traffic ward was just sitting there around the corner, as you say, licking his lips.
Yeah.
Because they must get do they get commission for tickets?
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine it being a public service job.
If they do,
that would be like saying the police get commission for every
arrest,
every arrest or conviction.
Well, there you go. Do you have any more stories?
I have one story left. This is from the Express. EU shamed into U-turn after trying to ban word Christmas for being offensive.
Oh, well, there we go. There's a perfect reason to leave the EU. They're cancelling Christmas.
An internal EU Commission document commissioned by Helen Daly, spotted on Sunday by Italian Daily, and some other word I can't pronounce, suggested certain expressions that are offensive or not inclusive enough should be removed. So Christmas was one of these.
But who's offended by the word Christmas? Like, who's offended? Or is it a case of they're offended on the behalf of other people that they made up in their own head?
One of those, I imagine.
It's the EU. They're looking for things. They're looking for things that might need changed.
A massive bureaucratic organisation can't exist if they can't keep finding things to do.
Exactly.
Other terms, they wanted to replace the term ladies and gentlemen with dear colleagues. They also wanted to get rid of words such as workman. Should be outright banned because they're not inclusive enough. Commissioner for Equality, Miss Daly, launched an internal guide to inclusion communication. It prohibited a number of expressions deemed stigmatizing according to gender, sexual identity, ethnic origin, or culture. These recommendations aim to reflect the diversity and fight against stereotypes deeply rooted in individual and collective behaviour. So, if you use terms such as ladies and gentlemen, Christmas, or workmen,
was it work person now, or?
No, it just says workmen should be banned.
Slave.
It doesn't even suggest a replacement. It just says ban it.
Person who works.
Worker, I guess.
Yeah, it's just.
It was also noted that the document was written in English, so some recommendations were not applicable to other languages.
So you said they're banning the word Christmas?
Well, they've done a U-turn on it. It was suggested to ban it.
Who suggested that?
The Commissioner for Equality, who is Helen Daly.
Well, she has to try and justify her
ways.
Helen
Daly, I think that is. I don't know.
Helen's D, I guess.
Helen D, yes.
Do you think you're in danger if you employ people who are just, their job is literally the head of equality, that they're going to pretty much do everything they can, no matter how wacky it is, to try and justify their paycheck? Like, they're going to have to try and bring in a new thing every year, something to get rid of. And it just shows they've literally run out of things to get rid of. Like, we can't say this anymore, can't say that anymore, and now they're having to venture into just normal everyday things that nobody finds offensive.
On that note, Christian names such as Mary or John were also in line to be banned.
What?
What's wrong with Mary and John?
What if you're like an MP?
What if you're in Ireland? What if you're in Ireland where like half the women are called Mary?
It doesn't actually give an explanation as to why they were going to ban those names. It has them listed here. The text also stated that one should never assume a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. Similarly, it considered that referring to elements of Christian culture is assuming that everyone is Christian. The report therefore recommended that references to Christmas should be removed and that the term holiday be used instead. So we're going very American here.
Is it wrong for me to assume that you're a man?
Apparently so.
I don't think there's any assumption about it anymore. I think you've known Mr. Ed for quite a while now.
Yeah, but people surprise you every day.
It gets even better. Oh, even the expression colonization of Mars is to be considered negative, as it would be reminiscent of colonialism and should be better used as sending humans to Mars.
Oh yes, we don't want to offend all the Martian natives.
Yes.
That would be the worst thing.
Have you ever seen Mars Attacks? You don't want to piss them off?
No, we don't.
The word human offends me, because most of them are fucking stupid.
The one I can't get over is the banning of Christian names such as Mary or John. It doesn't even give a reason for that. It just, they run the list to be banned.
I don't know. I mean, names are in the Bible, I guess, but that's a silly reason to ban someone.
What if you're a female politician called Mary Johnson? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you don't get a name placard?
Not allowed in here. Or it's just tip X'd out. Hello, miss. Oh, we can't even call you miss. Hello, person.
Well, thankfully, The move sparked fury across the EU. Lega MEPs blasting the idea as crazy. So thankfully there was pushback.
That's good.
Just the fact it was suggested concerns me.
MEPs and Lega groups, leaders in the EU Parliament, Macroni Zani and Macron Campasini, said on Sunday, in an era of susceptibility, even calling things your name or wishing a Merry Christmas has become a discriminatory attitude to be pursued in the name of political correct that so much appeals to the left and the majority that governs badly in the EU. They demanded to change what they don't like, starting from languages imposing newspeak of single thought, a wrong and dangerous drift, which more and more often leads to the extremism of cancel culture and demolition of symbols and history, with all due respect for tolerance, dialogue, and respect.
Could you imagine if someone stood up there and says, I want to ban the word Ramadan? Could you imagine what would happen?
Ooh.
Or Hanukkah. I want to ban the word Hanukkah.
I'm not allowed to call anybody Muhammad anymore.
Like, it's just... it's almost like one group's much easier to pick on than the other.
It's just silly. I think the rest of the EU has kind of figured that out, that it's just silly. I don't think it's going to go ahead.
It is worrying that this way of reasoning is adopted by European institutions. We would like Europe to use citizens' money better to resolve more concrete and urgent issues. We will not become accomplices. We will continue to defend the Judeo-Christian values of Europe and the sacrosanct freedoms of expression of the citizens.
Well said, whoever that was.
It was a joint statement between...
So basically, to conclude, all the stuff that equality person did, Helen, isn't going to go ahead.
Thankfully not, yes.
Well, that's good. Doing good work as always. But I love the EU. She probably took several months paid to come up with those suggestions as well.
It hasn't finished, is it? After an official complaint, the EU Commissioner was forced to withdraw the guidelines. She said the guidelines initiative was intended to illustrate the diversity of European culture and to show the inclusive nature of the Commission. However, the published version of the guidelines is not functional for this purpose. It is not a mature document and does not meet to our quality standards. So I will withdraw it and we'll work on this document again. So it's not out of the picture altogether.
Oh, great.
No, they're not going to ban Christmas. They're just going to ban Santa. Can't say Santa.
That's generally how the EU works, though, isn't it? They draft up something, and then everybody says no, and then they draft it up again, worded differently, and everyone says no. And they draft it up again, and then basically it keeps on going until everyone says yes.
Yep, that's basically it.
Yeah, EU, everybody.
They're saying there, but to ensure the diversity of culture, but how are you going to have diverse culture if you're going to ban everything? There'll be no culture then?
I think that might be the aim.
Maybe. Shall we say on that note?
Well, I have one more thing. Just, you know, the way we have recently had the COP conference recently.
Climate catastrophe conference.
Well, here's a little thing that I came across that maybe pisses in their cornflakes a wee bit.
All right.
I don't have the news article up here, but I did come across it. Basically, scientists have worked out how to, you know, the way they always bang on about methane.
Yeah.
Methane's causing the world to heat up because the cars keep farting. Well, slurry actually produces most of the methane, which is just like a collection of poo and grass and just all fermenting and making methane. Well, they actually found out a way to eliminate most of the methane produced by slurry.
Right.
Just by putting electric current through it. So they zap it.
Zap the poo.
They zap the shit, yeah. And I'm assuming that maybe kills the bacteria in it. So if you do that every so often, it reduces the levels of methane that's produced in slurry.
How much power would that take, though, considering how many cows there are?
Well, I can't imagine a lot. But it is zap it with lightning, and
because a cow makes a lot of poo. There's a lot of cows.
Yeah. Well,
that's something to think about.
Unless you just plug your slurry tank into the mains for 5 seconds, and that'll be it. But yeah, so that was interesting. So there you go.
Well, on that plot.
On that note, I think we'll appeal to comments just relating to Mr. Black's earlier story. If you have encountered a sleep paralysis demon, please let us know in the comments and let us know all the details. And indeed, if you are a sleep paralysis demon, we'd love to hear from you.
Or if you slept with if you cheated on your significant other and have had to make up a story about sleeping with demonic alien Xerxes entities, then let us know.
Let us know.
Merry Christmas.
And on that note,
Merry Christmas, Santa time.